A war that has engulfed almost half of the world. This war started with just one shot. 20 million soldiers were killed in this war and 23 million soldiers were injured. 1 crore 3 million civilians were injured and 8 million were killed. The First World War began on July 28, 1914 and ended on November 11, 1918. The war that engulfed the country was virtually unparalleled in the carnage and destruction it caused. This war led to the downfall of 4 great imperial dynasties: Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire and Russia. Germany was strengthening its roots throughout Europe economically, industrially, and ammunition. While Germany's war ambitions were being predicted, other countries in Europe were also steadily increasing their defense equipment. Germany thought that this war would last for a few months and then be over, but contrary to Germany's expectations, this war was fought for 4 years. World War I and its causes. At the time World War I began, almost all African countries were under the control of Great Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Spain, and Portugal. Known as Partition of Africa, in which European empires vied with each other for control of African territories, Europe had invaded the African coast several centuries ago to capture and enslave African peoples, but most due to navigational difficulties and the threat of endemic diseases such as malaria, they were unable to conquer inland African countries, after the passage of slavery laws. Steamboats and new technologies prepared Europeans to invade the African coasts. There are many reasons for World War I, but here are a few. Alliance of Russia and France. 1894 Russia and France were badly defeated by Germany in the War of 1970 and 1971 and were afraid of Germany's growing power. Germany had allied with Hungary and Italy, so both countries considered the alliance necessary for mutual security. Number 2 First German Naval Law 1898. The new Secretary-General Alfred Bohn, appointed by Germany's Admiral Imperial Navy, issued a introduced legislation that would have dramatically increased the size of Germany's battle fleet, with Germany envisioning a fleet that would make Germany better than Britain's Royal Navy. The number 3 of Russia and Japan War. From 1904 to 1905, Russian Admiral Tsar Nicholas wanted to secure a port that would give his fleet easy access to the Bahr al-Kahil. To this end, Admiral Nicholas set his sights on Korea. Understood and launched a surprise attack on Nicholas's fleet at Port Arthur in China. The battle was fought on both sea and land in China. The Japanese won the battle. On the other hand, Great Britain and France, who were allies of both Russia and Japan, and were trying to keep themselves out of the war. This war craze of Russia contributed to the outbreak of World War I in just over a decade. Number 4. The annexation of Austria-Hungary to Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1878 AD, a treaty whereby Austria-Hungary and Bosnia-Herzegovina, technically, these two countries were part of the Ottoman Empire. After Austria-Hungary integrated these two countries into the government, there was also a struggle from both countries. Slavi people wanted a separate country of its own. Number 5. Both France and Germany were focused on the African country of Morocco. In 1905, the first political crisis arose, which was aimed at supporting the Sultan of Morocco and opposing the interests of France. A crisis arose. This time Germany supported Morocco, but Britain again supported France and forced Germany to support the French protectorate in Morocco. These crises brought Britain and France closer together. 1911 Italy turned its attention to the North African country of Libya and decided to take Libya back from the Ottoman Empire, so a war began between the Ottoman Empire and Italy, and this war ended with a peace treaty, after which the Ottoman Empire left Libya and handed it over to Italy. This was the first military conflict in which aerial bombing was also carried out. Number 6. Balkan Wars 1911 to 1912. Serbia, Bulgaria, Greece, and Montenegro broke away from the Ottoman Empire in the 1800s and formed an alliance called the Balkan League. In 1912, the First Balkan War took place, in which Serbia, Greece, and Montenegro defeated the Ottoman army and forced it to yield to their demands, but the Balkan League soon fell apart. In the Second Balkan War, Bulgaria fought Greece and Serbia over Macedonia. The Ottoman Empire and Romania also entered the war, but Bulgaria was ultimately defeated. The Balkan Wars also contributed to the destabilization of the region. The war began on July 28, 1914, when a Bosnian Serb assassinated H.D. Franz, the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary. The Serbian government ordered the mobilization of the Serbian army and appealed to Russia for help. Hungary attacked Serbia. Since Russia was an important ally of Serbia, it mobilized in support of Serbia. The war began and spread slowly. So that the French were anxious to reduce the German pressure against them and to induce Russia to attack Germany. Germany believed that Russia would not attack Germany. On the other hand, Belgium and the Netherlands were mobilizing their army from the south to surround the capital of France, Paris. By 1916, Russian forces had attacked on several fronts in eastern Germany but failed to break the German lines. 1915 Allied forces led by Britain launched a large-scale land attack on the Gallipoli Peninsula. In January 1916, Allied forces took the way back from this island with 250,000 casualties. British-led coalition forces fought the Ottoman Turks in Egypt and Mezu, that is, in Iraq. The Isonzo War began in the late spring of 1915 after Italy entered the war. World War I began in 1914, but the United States remained neutral in the war following a policy of neutrality. As we continued to trade and ship with the war-torn countries of Europe, it became increasingly difficult to maintain this neutrality. In 1915, Germany declared the territories around the British island war zone. German U-boats have sunk many cargo ships in 1915 following the announcement that German U-boats had sunk the cargo ship No. All of the Americans on board were killed. In February 1917, the U.S. Congress passed a $250 million bill to prepare the U.S. for war. After the outbreak, the United States practically jumped into the war. The only way was to defeat the British Navy, but the British Navy was in a powerful position throughout Europe and defeating the British Navy was not a common thing, but in World War I, the German Imperial Navy challenged the British Royal Navy. In World War I, winning the war in the skies was also part of a strategy. Basically, the purpose of warplanes was to spy on the enemy. Keeping in view the need of the time, technology continued to increase and machine guns were also used in warships. In 1917, a revolution and civil war broke out in Russia's own empire. Finally, due to a weak military force, discontent of the people and a growing food crisis, Russia withdrew from the war, thus ending the Russian Empire. In 1918, the Allied forces, i.e. France, UK, Italy, the German alliance, i.e. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire, succeeded in breaking the front lines of the German alliance. In 1919-20. The Paris Conference imposed major restrictions on German ally, forcing Germany to withdraw control of many territories. The Ottoman Empire was also divided into pieces, resulting in Poland, Finland, the Baltic states, Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia and many other states. World War I, which lasted 4 years, poisoned the world. This war paved the way for battle tanks, airplanes and many other technologies. This war completely changed the map of the world. After this war, many imperial empires such as Russia, Austria, Hungary, Germany, the Ottoman Empire came to an end. America rise to power.